Okay, time for a new video. Welcome back to my channel, or hello if you're new. This is yet another Eurovision 2026 related video here on my channel, and today I'm going to be talking about the main contenders to win this year's upcoming Vienna-staged ESC, which, as we all know, will take place in just over a month's time. As always, you're welcome to let me know your thoughts on anything I discuss in today's video by leaving a comment down below, and as always, there are links in the description to my other social media pages. Check them out if you so wish. Once again, I will be clicking backwards and forwards quite a bit, so do bear with me. I believe as of right now, which as I speak to you is April the 10th, there are 6 nations capable of winning this year's Eurovision Song Contest. I will also be mentioning 3 countries who I deem to be on the periphery. What I mean by that is that these 3 nations could swoop in and take the win, but only if the other major contenders I'll be discussing mess up for whatever reason. I have made videos similar to this one in the past. 2026 is no exception. I'm just going to get straight into this. Do let me know your thoughts. I'm going to go through them in a random order, and I'll also be making a very rough prediction indeed with regards to how many points these favourites to win could end up with next month. Anyway, the first country that I believe is capable of winning Eurovision 2026, we will hear it and see the performance in the first semi-final on Tuesday, May the 12th. 15 nations involved. They'll all vote alongside the juries, who are returning, of course. The rest of the world, at some point, that rest of the world vote could end up being quite crucial, who knows. And 2 of the automatic qualifiers, which in this instance will be Italy and Germany. But the nation in question is Greece. Song 4 on that Tuesday evening, Eclipse with Ferto. Absolutely one of the major candidates to win. Eclipse Mytilineos is 27, born in February 1999. A couple of years ago, he was working on cruise ships. He then appeared on The Voice in his homeland, and this is by far his most successful song to date. And a lot of people really do love it. It is not exactly the same as some entries we have had in the recent past. However, you can put this song in the same ballpark as Cha Cha Cha, Rim Tim Taggy Dim, Europapa and Espresso Macchiato. Now, none of those songs won the contest. However, Cha 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 won the public vote, Rim Tim Taggy Dim won the public vote, Europapa would have come close to winning the public vote, and Espresso Macchiato was second in the public vote. So, if all of those songs can sort of be bunched together a little bit, that would suggest Ferto, in the public half of the results next month, will finish either second or first. And I think all Eurovision fans, irrespective of whatever your thoughts are on this particular number, we're all sort of expecting Greece to potentially win the public result in the final. What is preventing a possible second Greek win after their first victory in 2005 is that jury vote. How will the juries respond to this track? The national final performance, he won the Greek national final quite convincingly. I was not that blown away by it. Now, obviously, behind the scenes, he'll be doing a lot of rehearsals, they'll be polishing things a lot, and I'm sure next month it's going to look really fantastic. There is energy, there is vibrancy, there is chaos, but it's not coming across as a complete mess, which is very nice. And what is very interesting with this song is that we do have this rather tender moment towards the end, where the pace, the frantic nature of this song disappears momentarily, and we have this really touching, tender moment in which the narrator addresses their mother. And I think that's a really clever touch. We sort of had this with Europapa and Joost Klein, of course, but that was right at the end of his song, where he was addressing his parents. In this instance, it's a little bit earlier on in proceedings. And for a lot of casual viewers, first-time listeners next month, they might not have a clue what this song is on about. They might just think it's a 3-minute-long sugar rush. But we do have this very touching moment near the end, and I think that will be a sign to first-time listeners that actually this song isn't really a joke. It does have some substance. Now, whether or not these casual listeners next month bother to look at the English translation of the lyrics and understand what this song is getting at remains to be seen. The message of this song, it's there, but it might be lost on a lot of viewers. Let's not forget, Eurovision fans like myself, and you as well, make up a very small percentage of people actually watching the live shows every year. So I do wonder whether the message, the themes of this song, will really come across very well next month. And whether that plays a part or not, in whether Greece win or not, remains to be seen. As it says in front of me here, this track explores the aesthetics of excess, ambition and aspiration, following a narrator driven by an unrelenting desire for success, status and recognition. It positions wealth, luxury and visibility as markers of achievement. And then it goes on to say, beyond the surface, the track highlights the insatiable nature of ambition. Yes, this song really is about somebody who wants everything. They want to gorge on all of these expensive things. And once you have one good thing, you want more and more of it. Hence, you're rushing to get all of this stuff. You want all of these materialistic things in your life. And that is mirrored in the pace of this song, which feels quite frantic. You want more and more and more. Give it to me, bring it, etc., etc., etc. There is that repetition because you just want more and more. And like I said, whether the message of this song really comes across to casual viewers next month remains to be seen. If we take a look at the English translation of the lyrics, I have to say, on a side note, this song has one of the best music videos of the year. I have to play, I won't quit, my ambition is fire, I never fail, there's no limit, I'll demolish everything. I chase everything until I reach it, I want a crown and a throne to sit on, a checkbook and to write checks for everyone. Bring me a drink because I want to quench my thirst, bring it all to me, I still won't be satisfied. Real estate, bring it, sashimi tuna, bring it, gold watch, designer glass, I tell you, bring it. Leather coat, bring it, and escargot, bring it. Rally cars, yacht with stars, I told you, bring it. This song feels as though it is ready-made for a computer game, and if you see the music video, it does have those sort of old-school computer game graphics going on, which I really enjoyed. As for the tender moment, look mum, all that we went without before, I feel like I will manage to provide so we won't lack anything again. Look at me mum, I buy to fill the voids. I'll buy a lot for you too, houses, cars, and country villas, of course, if I win. And then we're sort of straight back into that repetitive phrase again and again and again. I don't really have a great deal else to say about this. At first, the first time I heard it, I was not sure about it at all because I am very wary of songs that come across in this way, lively, maybe a little bit tongue-in-cheek and jokey. But as a Eurovision fan, you've got to give everything a fair shot. You've got to listen to things more than once, more than twice, several times indeed. That's what I did with this song. It's not one of my big favourites, but I do really appreciate it. I do like it for what it is, and there's no doubt about it. Greece are in it to win it, and it would be their second win 21 years after their first. Moving on now to one of the automatic qualifiers, and you know exactly which country I'm going to be talking about here. It is France, who this year are represented by 17-year-old Monroe Rigby, born in November 2008 in Salt Lake City in the US. She came to prominence after appearing on the television show Prodigy, which she won. She released her debut album last November, which didn't chart very highly, but she is going to be France's representative for France, yes indeed, at this year's Eurovision Song Contest. Now, I don't know about you, but France's form, particularly with the public over the past few years, has been very up and down indeed. And you'll have to forgive me here because I'm trying to find this particular site. Here we go. Yes, Barbara Pravi did very well in the jury vote in Rotterdam several years ago, and the public really liked that song as well. There wasn't much to the staging, but it was particularly effective and the points poured in. Foulen, for some reason, nobody cared much for. Lazare, évidemment, in Liverpool 2023. A lot of people didn't mind that track, but the points did not pour in for whatever reason. Then we had Slimane, and nothing much going on in terms of the song or the staging, but people really enjoyed it, and he ended up with a lot of points and a top 5 finish in Malmö. Then we had Luan, who again wasn't really doing a whole lot. The song wasn't that original, and the staging was so-so, I guess. I enjoyed it for what it was, but the public weren't really that keen. So very up and down, France, with the public at Eurovision over the past few years. But one thing I will say is that I absolutely believe they have turned a corner. I think they absolutely want to win. I think they are a little bit more consistent with their results these days. And it will be interesting to see how well this particular track fares next month, because I don't think it would be a very popular winner. There is this popra fatigue with Eurovision at the moment among the fans. Not so much the juries, but the fans absolutely. We've had The Code, we had Wasted Love. Regarde is not quite the same, but you can bunch it with those 2 previous winners. The juries are going to really like this. I think we can all agree on that. A very, very large score is coming in the jury vote. Possibly 250 at least, something like that. But what is preventing a possible French victory, and it would be their first in decades, is that public response. Are the public going to be really on board with this in the way they were with Slimane and Barbara Pravi, or is it going to be another Luan-Lazare moment in Vienna next month? We'll have to wait and see. Now, this is really annoying me. Where the hell is it? I can't find the specific thing that I'm looking for here. But, yes, I suppose as well one of the arguments with regards to this song and why it might not win is that there's not a great deal of substance to it. It feels like we've heard this thing many, many times before. It feels maybe as though it's trying a bit too hard to win. I don't know. When everything lights up all across Paris and the streets fall silent, I stay here. I searched for your love in every neighbourhood. I sing every day. Look at me, look at yourself. That's what love is. It strikes you like lightning. Look at me, look at yourself. That's what love is. You will never be lost. Come on, I can take you to a place where love burns strong, so strong. What is different with this song in comparison to Greece? Obviously, there's a lot of differences, but I feel as though with the Greek track, maybe this is just me, but I feel as though there's not really a winning moment. There's not a specific moment in that 3-minute track that I listen to and think, that is the selling point. That is the thing that's going to make Greece win. With France, there's that huge, big, operatic-like note in the final third. And when I hear that, I think to myself, that feels like a bit of a winning moment, potentially. That could be the moment in this song that gives France the win. Maybe. I don't know. Like I said, it's the public vote that is going to be the big problem here. And we will just have to wait and see whether or not the score is decent. It's going to have to be a very big score indeed. Even if the juries dish out, let's say, 250 points for Regarde, the public score is still going to have to be 200 plus to stand much of a chance of winning. And I'm just not sure that's going to come through. But there's no doubt about it, France winning wouldn't be a shock to anybody. It wouldn't be a shock to me at the very least. And who knows, maybe it could be Paris 2027. France, along with Greece, in it to win it. I don't really have much else to say about it. It's not a song that I've listened to a great deal. It's not a song I'm going to listen to a great deal after the contest. The staging could be great. The atmosphere could be fantastic. She's not exactly going to butcher the vocals, in my opinion. So it's really ticking a lot of the right boxes to maybe win the contest. And if she is well ahead of anybody else at the end of the jury voting, it might be hard to stop France winning. Anyway, let's move on to the third country that I believe could win. And I do apologise for the backwards and forwards with that particular review of the French track. For the record, Greece, I think, is my number 10 of the year at the moment. France, I think, is my number 7 or 8. This song, I think, is my number 3. And I feel as though I mention this country every damn year. It is Sweden. We will hear the Swedish track in the first semi-final, Song 2 on Tuesday the 12th of May. It is Felicia with My System. She was the favourite to win Melfest. That's exactly what happened. Felicia Eriksson is 24, formerly Fröken Snusk. She was in Melfest a couple of years ago with Ung och Fria, and that was a big song in Sweden at the time, but she didn't even make the Melfest final because of the absolute shite show voting system in the second chance round thingamajig. So this is a bit of a redemption story going on here. There will be some criticism, I'm sure, regarding her vocals, because although she's not a bad singer whatsoever, you will have some people saying, is she really singing live? We can't tell because she's wearing a mask. That is her thing. I imagine she's going to wear it full time in Vienna next month. We'll wait and see. And what is obviously one of the strengths of Sweden in Eurovision is that they take what they have at the national final and just do the same again, because the performances are almost always Eurovision ready. So we are going to have the dancers, the choreography, the lasers, the mask, the glasses, the moment where she reaches out from the LED screen. That's a particularly effective moment. And this is obviously a pop EDM style effort. It's pretty simple in a way. It's not taking a risk like the last Swedish entry did with Bara Bastu, of course. If anything, this is a little bit more back to basics somehow, but it's also not a typical, massively straightforward, highly safe pop song. One of the flaws, you could say it's a flaw, and I don't really know how to word this, but for me, this song really isn't so much about the lyricism or even Felicia herself. It's all about the beat. It's all about the melody. The chorus, there's not much going on at all. It really is just that sort of sound. People getting swept up in that rhythm. And the whole song, I really enjoyed. As I said earlier, it's sort of my number 3, number 4 of the year at the moment. But I can understand any critique with this song regarding how there's maybe not a whole lot to it when you sort of go from start to finish a few times, listen to it a couple of times. Is it really that much of a contender? I don't know. Certainly, in my opinion, it's in it to win it, and if the other major contenders slip up, Sweden could well triumph again. You never know. It says here, the song explores the difficulty of moving on from someone who still has a strong emotional and physical hold on you. At its core, it's about feeling addicted to a person, even when you know the relationship isn't healthy. So I think a lot of people can relate to what this song is going on about. Let's take a look now at the lyrics. I don't even want you. No, you don't take up any space. No, you don't take up space. Apologies. On any given Monday, I'm forgetting how you taste. I killed the whole idea of you, been dancing on your grave, 'cause I don't even want you. Then Friday screams your name, 'cause now you're in my head, my heart, my body parts. That's a really awkward lyric in my opinion. You're always coming back on the weekends. You're in every touch and thought and every shot. No, I can't get you out of my system. And then the drop happens. And then it sort of repeats itself several times. And again, I talk about a winning moment. Maybe that moment where we see Felicia lean out of the screen. Is that a potential selling point, winning moment type thing going on there? Maybe. I don't know. It's definitely very polished. Sweden, you know, they seemingly want to win every year. And this will be up there getting a lot of points. I think the juries will really like this. The public, they'll like it. But maybe not as much as Greece and 1 or 2 other countries I'll get onto in a minute. But you can expect this to be up there, challenging for the win. Potentially. I don't think there's much else to say about it. I really like it. Let's move swiftly on, shall we? Okay, so I've mentioned them, and them. There are 1, 2, 3 more countries to talk about. I will try and be brief. Next up, Denmark. Yes, Denmark. And I think if Denmark were to win, it would be a very popular win. Years in the wilderness, not really doing a great deal at all. Making the final last year, Sissal very popular, but the points were very hard to come by, particularly with the public. This time around, absolutely a contender to win. I think the live performance is going to be excellent. What we had at DMGP, we had 3 really great songs in the super final. All of them might have done quite well at Eurovision. I was supporting Erika Jane, but this song, when I saw the performance of it I wasn't blown away, but I was seriously impressed. Vocally, great. The energy was there. It builds up and builds up and builds up. And then you have that sort of winning moment with that big note and the fiery backdrop behind him and the dancers. And the choreography is really, really slick here. I imagine in Vienna it's going to be more of the same. The mesh top, the black trousers, the dancers, the box, everybody bopping about. Really, really slick. I think that's what impressed me the most here. Just how well choreographed everything was. Nothing felt too awkward, nothing felt too forced. And this is easily Denmark's best shot at getting a great result at Eurovision for many, many years. Song 10 in that second semi-final on Thursday, May the 14th. It's Før vi går hjem, Before We Go Home, by Søren Torpegaard Lund, who is 27, born in December 1988. He was in DMGP in 2023 but didn't win, has released one EP to date and several songs. So let's take a look at what this song is on about. Here we go. That's not it. Do bear with me. Can't find it. Let's take a look at the lyrics nevertheless. My body, it screams. Can you hear it? I should say no. Said it was the last time, but you got me. Yeah, you got me. You are so sour, you're melting on my tongue. Completely uncontrollable. I'm so effing dumb, but you got me. So on and so forth. Kiss me, take my heart, break it again. But please tell me that this night will never end. So this is essentially a song about somebody who is perhaps in love with somebody else, and it's not great, it's maybe a little bit toxic, but tonight, before we all go home, we're just going to let loose, we're going to give in to our feelings, we're going to have some fun. It is what it is. We let the night stand in flames and forget ourselves, holding on to each other until we burn to death, forgetting that we wake up and regret it again, before we go home. Think I'll disappear in neon lights and smoke. The night binds me to your eyes, say you have me, yes. And so on, so forth. It just builds and builds and builds. It's absolutely a contender for victory. And I think here, unlike with Greece, where it's likely the public will go much bigger for it than the juries, I think we might have a very equal situation here, where the juries and the public like this equally. It's going to be up there, getting a lot of love. Denmark could be the winners of Eurovision 2026. Maybe. I've seen few people really hate this. I've not been taking a look at a lot of online commentary. I've not been watching an extreme amount of people's rankings on YouTube and things like that. But a lot of people have ranked Denmark very highly indeed. And okay, that's a tiny percentage of people who will watch and vote next month, but it's a good sign nevertheless. And I can tell you it's my number 2 of the year at this moment in time. Okay, let's now talk about the big guns. The country to beat this year. Song 7 in semi-final 1 on Tuesday, May the 12th. The comfortable winners of UMK, a national final which has just grown and grown in quality, and it really is, I would say, on par with Melfest now. It's well liked. The songs are generally very, very strong. The atmosphere is fantastic. And this duo were the comfortable winners several months ago. Linda Lampenius and Petter Parkkonen with Liekin Heitin, which means flamethrower. So, Petter Parkkonen, quite a handsome chap. He's 36. His birthday is 2 days after mine. He's released several albums, and he came to prominence after appearing on Finland's version of Idol many years ago. He's released a whole bunch of singles. Liekin Heitin has gone to number 1 in Finland, which apparently is his... No, it isn't. It's his second number 1 single. The other one was part of a collaboration about 10 years ago. Anyway, Linda Lampenius is a world-famous classical concert violinist. She's 56 years of age, born in February 1970. She has also appeared on television. She's also been a model. She definitely looks like a supermodel, absolutely. She's dabbled in politics. She's been an entrepreneur. She's been an author. And she's also dipped her toes into rallying. as well. Really, she can do everything. She's featured in every major magazine that you can think of. She's appeared on every major sort of talk show that you can think of at one point in time or another. Absolutely fantastic. If anything, it's a real coup that she is doing Eurovision. Anyway, I just think this is so fantastic. It feels dark and ominous, and you've got Petter who's doing the singing, and then Linda comes in, this ice queen, playing the violin. She may well be playing it live in Vienna next month, and I think that would be absolutely fantastic. And then she struts down the stage, and she'll be doing that no doubt in Vienna next month as well. And there's flames all around this screen. A lot of people have said it's like a confessional booth. And Petter's vocals, he's really, really going for it, packing a lot of power throughout the 3 minutes. And then obviously that very, very frantic last few seconds. At UMK, there was fire everywhere. We had chairs that were being lifted up into the ceiling and flashing red lights. Next month, I really want it to feel even more epic. We know that the lighting for this year's competition is going to be really, really fantastic, full stop. So let's have some strobe effects, let's have some pyro, let's have flames going around the stage, let's have this camera panning around them really quickly. I can see it now. It's just going to ramp up that epic nature. And the last 20 seconds or so, that is this song's potential winning moment, in my opinion. Let's take a look at what this song is all about. Okay. Well, does it say on here? Let me take a look. No, it doesn't. So I'm going to have to click here. Okay. The song follows a 3-act emotional arc, a recognition of danger, immersion in destructive passion, and resigned acceptance of an addictive cycle. In Act 1, he knows he should leave, but is already caught. Act 2, he dives into physical intensity and escalating harm. Act 3, he recognises the pattern of sin, guilt, and return without breaking it. So on and so forth. Ois visampi haipitalt, it would be wiser to leave here. Mitten tunteet voice jadita, how could you freeze feelings? He names her as Flamethrower, framing her as the active source of danger. Yes. Vaiksaan sult runtu, nin se hyvältä tuntuu. Even if I get bruises, it feels good. Yes, indeed. Saat mut palamaan, saan sust palan vaan. Oot niin kuuma, mut jää kylmä. You make me burn, I'll just have a piece. You are so hot, but ice cold. So yeah, conflicted feelings towards somebody else from the narrator in this particular song. I really don't have much else to say about this one. I think I've covered as much as I possibly can without droning on for the ages. It's really, really fantastic. And the violin, it just gives this song its momentum, its extra kick, its real power, I guess. Without this violin, the song is really lacking any sort of spark. But Linda comes in and boom, it just bursts into life and gives this song its urgency, its rhythm, its passion. And yeah, absolutely fantastic. My favourite of the year. I've seen a lot of people react to this track. I've seen barely anybody say that they really don't like it. It is the favourite to win. Finland are the country to beat. This would be their second win and first in 20 years. They've been pushing hard to win the competition again, and maybe next month they will get their hands on the trophy once more. Bear with me. We will wait and see. The jury vote, well, I think the juries are going to really go big for this. As for the public vote, yeah, I don't see any reason why the score here is going to be a crushing disappointment. When I think about the countries I've already spoken about, Denmark, I can see Finland doing better in the public half of the results there myself. Maybe Greece will do better, but maybe not miles better. We will just have to wait and see. Anyway, the only other main country that I've included here, and I wasn't sure about it, but a lot of people really love it, and a lot of people are convinced this is winning material. Song 11 in the second semi-final next month. It's Australia. A return to form. Didn't do well with Milkshake Man last year. Didn't do well with Electric Fields the year before that. So in many ways, it's a slightly back to basics sort of thing here. It's a very, very fine song. Is it doing anything groundbreaking? No, it isn't, but sometimes that's perfectly okay. Delta Goodrum is 41 from Sydney, born in November 1984. She is one of Australia's biggest female stars. She's actually rumoured to be appearing on the UK's version of Strictly Come Dancing later in the year. 9 number 1 singles, 17 top 10 hits in her homeland. She's been nominated for and won a whole bunch of awards. She has been a coach on The Voice Australia and on The Voice Kids. And Eclipse is the name of her song. Her last album was in 2021. She's toured all over the world, and she is a very recognisable Australian figure. So, what is this song all about? And can it really win Eurovision this year? I don't think so, but I'm including them here because they are one of the favourites to triumph. So let's take a look. Da 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 da. Okay, blah 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 blah. Shadows in the moonlight, dancing with the sun. Planets are aligning to love as one, and it won't be long till the morning comes. In a sky full of stars, there were lights from above. We've only just begun. One touch, one kiss. All my life for a night like this. The world stops for us. Yeah, it's essentially, to me, a falling in love. It's that initial moment between two people where there is intimacy and it feels magical. Only love exists when we eclipse, blah, blah, blah. Call it perfect timing. I call it divine. Gravity is pulling your heart to mine, and it won't be long till the morning comes. What else does it say? Eclipse uses astronomical phenomena as a powerful metaphor for profound romantic connection and self-realization. The eclipse becomes the perfect vessel for Delta's exploration of love's transformative power. The harmonious union of opposites, shadows in the moonlight dancing with the sun. In the second verse, gravity is pulling your heart to mine, a scientifically grounded yet deeply romantic observation. The chorus's declaration that the world stops for us captures that quintessential feeling of being so fully present with another person that external reality fades away. Yes, indeed. In the music video, she's sort of in the desert. She's wearing a flappy dress, and she's got the piano, and there's lights all around her. It's really nice. I mean, I can't really give it more than a 6 or a 7 out of 10, but the juries might really, really adore this. There's very little to fault. I think it's playing it relatively safe, but it's a very fine song. I just don't know whether it's really going to get certainly a huge amount of public support. We have seen Australia struggle in the final with public support in the past. Isaiah, public didn't care much for him. Jessica Malboy, public didn't care much for her. We had Sheldon Riley, public didn't really care much for him. Montaigne didn't even get out of the semi-final in 2021. Voyager, don't know what happened there, but the public weren't really keen on that song either that they had in Liverpool. And then, of course, the past 2 years, public-only semi-finals haven't qualified. So, in many ways, I feel as though Australia are saying, okay, you know what? We're going to have one of our biggest artists now. We're going to get back into the final, and we're going to show that we can deliver the goods. I think the staging will be relatively simple in Vienna next month, and certainly she's going to sing very, very well. I've got no worries in that department. Her vocals are going to be perfectly fine. There is more attention surrounding Australia in the UK than the UK's entry, which tells you everything you need to know. Once again, the British track in Britain brushed aside. But yes, Delta's a big star, and she has star power. And we'll wait and see if indeed Australia can get their first Eurovision victory. Not much else to say about it. Anyway, let's now make a highly rough prediction for how well these songs might do next month. So here we go. Let's begin with Greece. So from the public, I'm thinking probably a minimum of 270. Maybe that's playing it fairly safe. With the juries, well, last year, Espresso Macchiato got 90-something in the jury vote. And then the year before that, I think Rim Tim Taggy Dim, did that get 150-something maybe? Do bear with me here as I try and find out. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Okay, Rim Tim Taggy Dim was third in the jury vote, 210. I'm going to say 160, minimum, that is, in the jury vote. So if we add those two together, that is 430 points in total, minimum, for Ferto next month. And last year, 430 points would have been enough to finish second, 16 points behind JJ. So there you go. Now, who did I talk about after that? I think it was France, wasn't it? Yes, so France. France, at this moment in time, I think they're probably going to win the jury vote. So I'm going to say 230 minimum. That's not a very high score in the jury vote, but it is what it is. And as for the public, well, Luan, 50. Is this going to do slightly better? Monroe, Regard. I'm going to say 110. So that's going to be 340 points in total, which last year would have been enough to finish fourth. I think that's fairly reasonable. As for Sweden, public vote. Well, last year, Sweden were third, with Barabastu in the public half of the results, 195 points, and that was seen as a bit disappointing. This song is arguably not as strong, not as fun, but it's still quite polished. I'm going to say 125 minimum from the public, and then in the jury vote, I'm going to say 170. So if I add those two figures together, 170, 125, that's 295. So that's well off Greece. Last year, 295 would have been enough to finish fifth overall. This tea is going cold. Fantastic. Bear with me. Denmark next. From the public, I am thinking possibly a minimum of 130. And in the jury vote, I'll say maybe 140. So that's 270, which last year would have been enough to finish fifth. I don't think that's unrealistic. Maybe that's actually a little high. But we'll wait and see, won't we? It's as simple as that. And then Finland. So Finland, yes. I think with the public, I think this will win the public vote. I'm saying that now. Not by much, but I think it will win the public vote. Actually, I said Greece would win the public vote, didn't I? So let's say 260 minimum for Finland with the public. And then 225 there. Why not? Slightly less than France in the jury vote. 260 plus 225. That is 485, which would have been enough to win last year. Many points ahead of JJ. And then Australia, public, I'm going to play it really safe and say about 120. And then with the juries, I'm going to say maybe about 180. 180 plus 120. 300. More than Sweden, more than Denmark. 300 points last year would have been enough to finish fifth overall. Now, very briefly, the countries on the periphery. They could win, but only if everybody else messes up big time. Those three nations are Israel, Romania and Czechia. Czechia are represented by Daniel Žižka with Crossroads. I think this is a really wonderful ballad. Doesn't have much of a chorus. The public vote could be a big fat disappointment. However, the juries, the first time I heard this, I thought, wow, the juries are going to eat this up. This could be the jury winner. And there's a part of me that still thinks that could be the case. if indeed this even gets to the final, because there is the possibility that even if the juries love this in semi-final 2, the public might loathe this for whatever reason, and that could mean, when the points are smushed together, this just misses out on the final. Realistically, I think this is going to be in the final. I think it's going to do quite well for itself. I think he's going to sing it really fabulously. I don't think it's going to win, but as I keep on saying, if the other major contenders mess up for whatever reason, Czechia might just swoop in. You never know. Stranger things have happened. And in many ways, we are overdue a bit of a shock winner. Anyway, that's Czechia. Really great. Hope it is not criminally underrated next month, but I can see it happening in the public half of the results. As for Romania, Choke Me, Alexandra Capitanescu, big fan favourite, has old school Evanescence vibes. Talking of Evanescence, they released a new song earlier today. How about that? This is fantastic. Rock, gritty, dark. She's got real stage presence. There are some operatic notes, that type of thing going on in this song as well. You know what I'm on about. Really fantastic. This could get a really big public score, really big, more than Sweden, more than Denmark. It could be right up there, top 3, top 4 in the public half of the results. But the juries might be where this song comes unstuck, shall we say. But it's a great return to form for Romania, and I think they can be very proud of this entry. And then as for Israel, well, we all know what's probably going to happen here. If you think Israel can't win, think again. That's all I can really say, because I've heard the song all the way through once. I think it's better than their previous 2 entries. Is it more competitive? Maybe a little bit. It's not a straightforward ballad. It's Noram Betan with Michelle. It's fine. If everything that was going on politically was not happening, then I don't know that this would even get out of the first semi-final. But because what is happening is still happening, this is probably going to win the first semi-final, potentially, with a very big public score. The juries, I don't think, will be massively dismissive of this. And look what happened last year. Israel were, 12th, 13th, something like that in the jury result in the final. And Yuval won the public vote, 2nd overall. Something similar could happen again this year. It really could. It shouldn't happen, because the song is not absolutely sensational. But we all know what is probably going to occur again, don't we? I don't think Israel will be winning, but I think they'll really be up there, causing a stir in the upper echelons of the public half of the results. If this wins the public vote, none of us should be surprised. It should be Finland or Greece or whoever it is, one of the other countries I've just mentioned. But it might well be Noam for Israel. The jury, yeah, I'm thinking a similar result to last year. But, top 10 overall, top 5 likely, top 3 very possible. If New Day Will Rise, for crying out damn loud, can finish 2nd, then Michelle this year probably could also finish in the top 2. I don't have much else to say about it, but they're on the periphery because realistically they can't exactly be ruled out here. Anyway, that's it. All of the other nations, yeah, I like a lot of the songs this year. I don't love a lot of songs this year, but I like a lot of songs this year. If I haven't mentioned your favourite, then that's because I don't think they're capable of winning. In all honesty, I think it will be Finland, Greece, Sweden, Denmark or Australia winning Eurovision 2026 next month. And based on the very, very rough prediction that I just did, it will be Finland coming out on top with 485-ish points. 2nd, Greece. 3rd, France. 4th, Australia. 5th, Sweden. 6th, Denmark. And then maybe Israel, Romania, Czechia. And then if you really wanted me to mention another country after that, I don't know, Moldova will be up there, won't they? They could really cause a stir in the public half of the results. Anyway, that's it. A massive ramble, and I've totally run out of steam. Hopefully you enjoyed this video for what it was, and I'll be back with another Eurovision 2026 related video fairly soon. It may well be my top 34, top 35 of the year. Until next time, take care of yourselves, stay safe, and let me know who you realistically think at this moment in time, will win this year's ESC. Take care of yourself, stay safe, and bye for now.